What's up, homies? I'm Shopper Gents Jam, aka Industrial Havoc, and this is
Saucer Cracker Marty M, aka Professor Chili, and I'm down here hitting the studio.
And I am Chemical Augie, aka Authentic Tone.
hip-hop is a cultural movement which formed during the early 70s by African-American youths in New York. Like most forms of music, hip-hop is a way for people to express themselves. In hip-hop's case, it was used as a way for the youth of urban areas to express dissatisfaction with law enforcement and the law in general. Even to this day, hip-hop music still often delivers a strong political message. Hip-hop as a genre has spread throughout the world during the last 20 years. In this video, we're going to talk about hip-hop as a genre, the history of hip-hop, and how it's evolved. After that, we're going to talk about the culture of hip-hop, and then to finish it all off, we're going to compare all these points to Sweden and its hip-hop scene.
I sip the Don Pete, watching Gandhi till I'm charged and writing in my book of rhymes. All the words past the margin, the whole of mic I'm throbbing, mechanical movement.
As we stated in the beginning of the presentation, the hip-hop genre was born during the 70s by African American youths in the New York area. At first, hip-hop artists only rapped about having fun and to be entertaining, but as the genre grew, the meaning behind the lyrics grew as well. More rappers started writing lyrics about issues with society and the danger of growing up in a bad neighborhood.
During the late 80s in America, new hip-hop beats were made in studios with drum machines and synths, which made it possible to take samples from other genres. As the time went by and the technology got better and more digital effects could be used on the beats, more artists became more and more influenced by other genres, and subgenres to hip-hop were born, such as alternative hip-hop and jazz rap.
Oh, is it live? Oh. In the 90s, two very big hip-hop groups were formed in the United States of America that would change the rap game forever. On the East Coast, the famous group, the Wu-Tang Clan, was formed, and on the West Coast, NWA was born. The Wu-Tang Clan was the pioneers of hardcore rap, and NWA created gangsta rap. These two subgenres are very iconic for the hip-hop genre itself.
In Sweden, the genre did not show until the 80s, and at first, most Swedish rappers and hip-hop artists rapped in English. Swedish hip-hop was influenced by America, as it was there the genre was born. It wasn't until the 1990s that hip-hop started to become mainstream in Sweden.
It was also during that time that most Swedish hip-hop artists started to rap in Swedish instead of English. The music industry during the 90s also started to accept hip-hop as a genre, which made it more popular than ever.
Slow cut back, snap back, see my cut through the holes. Damn, Easy and Hove, where the hell you been? Niggas talking real reckless, stuck man.
Hip-hop, unlike other music genres, is often rhythmically spoken. This way of performing a song is more known as rapping. The artist often speaks and rhyme the words that they are singing instead of actually singing them, and that's called rapping. A common mistake that people do is that they think rap is a genre, while hip-hop is actually the genre. Rap or rapping is, as I previously mentioned, just the way of singing a song. It began with people talking over their music, and it evolved into a more well-known way of singing. Other than rapping the song, the artist often writes lyrics with some kind of meaning to them. Many of the American hip-hop songs from the 80s and 90s consisted of lyrics criticizing the law enforcement or the way something was handled.
A big part of the hip-hop song is the beat. The foundation in almost every song in this genre consists of a combination of bass and drums, and together they create the so-called beat. The beat can be played in various paces, and back in the day the beats often had little to no variation. Beats nowadays often have more details and a bit more variation, and trap has begun to play a part in the making of the hip-hop beats.
If you compare the hip-hop music in America to Sweden, you won't see that many differences. The main difference is, of course, the language that the artist sings in. In Sweden, most of the hip-hop songs are in Swedish, while the American songs are in English. This is mainly because the Swedish hip-hop scene was influenced by the American, and this is because the hip-hop originally was born in America.
Young Savage, why you trapping so hard? Why do you niggas capping so hard?
Okay, so let's talk about the culture. As we mentioned before, a lot of hip-hop's lyrics is based on real-life experiences. This is mainly because of the backgrounds that the artist or group had or have. Many rappers during the 80s and 90s grew up in rough neighborhoods with a lot of violence and criminal activity. Because of this, a lot of police attention was drawn to these areas, and the people living there felt like they were being treated in a way that was based on stereotypes. And because it was the authorities who did this, the people in the exposed areas felt like they had nobody to turn to. Therefore, they explained their dissatisfaction through their music instead. This mainly happened in America. Most of the well-known artists or groups wrote songs about their upgrowing in neighborhoods where the poor was normal and drugs and guns wasn't any of the ordinary.
If you look at the Swedish hip-hop community, you will see that people from the suburbs sometimes rap about the injustice that they have experienced in their lives. Other than the lyrical part, the hip-hop culture is similar to the one in America. And once again, this is mainly because the American hip-hop scene influenced the Swedish scene a lot. Some differences that we can see is that hipster rappers are way more common here in Sweden. And there are of course some differences in the culture, seeing that it's two different countries as well. An example of a song that shows injustice experienced by the artist growing up in a rough suburb. A great example is the song Fuck the Police by the group NWA, where they sing about the injustice they experience with the police and how they think the police is treating them in a disrespectful way. The song Mina områden by Kartellen is another great example with a similar meaning behind the lyrics.
And when I wake up, I recognize you looking at me for the pay cut. Bahamas, I be looking at you from the face down. One Mac 11, even boom with the bass down. Skimming, and let me tell you about my life.
So, if we do an overall comparison, we can see that the hip-hop scene in Sweden and United States have a lot of things in common, and this mainly comes down to the fact that the genre was born in America and adopted to Sweden. Okay. When it comes to the music, there are no major differences other than the language. In Sweden, the artists and groups sing in Swedish, and in America they sing in English, which is not a big surprise. And once again, this is because of the influence America have on Sweden. Not only in the music part, but also in pretty much all of the parts of the community.
Jag filmar ju nu och det där kommer vara med. I filmed that and that's gonna be in it.
When we compare the history, there are some small and some big differences. The main difference is of course that the hip-hop in America has a longer and more in-depth history because the genre was born in America, there in the 70s. And there in the 80s, it got adopted to Sweden. But the way the music has taken is pretty much the same for both countries. The cultures in the two different countries are, unlike the music and history, not that similar. This is mainly because of the fact that it's two different countries with two different cultures. In Sweden, hipster rappers such as Young Lean are more common, while gangster rappers such as the group NWA are way more common in America.
Ja.
So.
Hello, NA2EF, Shoppa Jens Jam here. So, to summarize it all, you could say there are some big differences such as the language and, to some degree, the culture. The gang culture is bigger in America and in Sweden, the hipster culture is bigger. But overall, the two hip-hop scenes are pretty much identical. And then to end it all off, we're just gonna leave you guys with a few commonly used words in rap music. Yeah, what up, homies? It's your boy Shoppa Jens Jam here. And today, I'm gonna show you the first word is "k" or "cuz", and it derives from the word cousin, and it's basically an alternate way of saying homie. Alright, and this next word, it's MC. It means mic controller, the one controlling the mic, and it can be used like this. Alright, y'all, give it up for our newest MC. Thank you. Alright, y'all, this next word, it's the word gat. And it means firearm, so it's like my gat would mean my firearm, and you can use it like this. Yeah, this is like a conversation someone has with someone else. Oh yeah, dog, that hater talked mad trash about me. So I pulled up my gat and I popped a couple and I killed him. Alright, and this one is a kraken, and it means like, what's happening? So you ask someone like, what's cracking, dude? What's good? What's cracking, homie? Yeah. And this last one is shorty or shoddy, and it basically means a fine ass woman, if you know what I'm saying. And an example of how you can use it is, damn shawty, you're looking fine as fuck. Wow.